Welcome to the Squid Research Lab. This time around we will be dissecting Squid Beacons. The Squid Beacon is a utility item found in the sub-slot. It was originally exclusive to the Crack-On Roller set, but has since found its way onto a large array of weapons. Although its availability has increased, potential seems to remain untapped by most Inklings. Let's take some time to examine the basic functionality, some usage tips, and learn how to deal with enemy beacons. The first big question, what does a beacon even do? To answer this, we must remember what a super jump is. Tapping a teammate or your own spawn point on the gamepad will allow for a quick super jump above the stage to that target. They are most commonly used after respawning. Super jumps are a powerful tool in the right hands. Squid Beacons act as another target for super jumps. Although the basic function is to add more jump spots, they do have a few quirks that should be noted. First off, Squid Beacons give any jumper a stealthy jump, leaving no ring at the landing zone. They also persist after you get splatted, unlike other subs, such as a sprinkler, meaning that finding a good spot can be more than worth the time invested. You can also have multiple beacons active at one time, up to 3 per player. This can very quickly expand your jump options when utilized. Now for some drawbacks. They can only be placed at your feet and cannot be thrown. They also use a large amount of ink to place. They will also appear on the map for both teams, colored appropriately. Squid Beacons can last for a long time, however they aren't permanent. Any jump to a beacon will destroy it upon landing. Please note that this doesn't necessarily mean that it can only be used for one jump, since you can target it for another jump before the first jumper lands. Trying to place your 4th beacon will destroy the oldest beacon you've placed. Beacons can also be destroyed by damage from enemies. Now that we know how they work, how will we put them to use? This is where most squids fall apart, knowing how they work but not being able to capitalize on them. There are multiple strategies for placing them, depending on map, game mode, stage presence, etc. For a general rule of thumb, if you're planning on leaving them behind, put them out of plain sight for the enemy team. Most of the time they will move past them obliviously. If you are acting as a guard for that area, or an anchor for your team, place them in convenient places, even if it's in the open, to get your teammates in the action as quickly as possible. Try not to stand too close to them or your teammate will likely hit you as the target, rather than the beacon. There is also the matter of whether to spread them out or keep them clustered. In most cases, spreading them out is a good idea, giving more options and less risk if the spot gets taken. However, certain spots are safe to cluster them. Make sure the spot is difficult for the enemy to get to, or is a strong spot for teammates to come into. This usually happens on high ledges that cannot be swam up to. One last consideration is which side of the map should they be placed. Beacons can be placed anywhere on the map, even close to enemy lines. However, pushing close to an enemy's side is always risky. I'd recommend grabbing safe spots on your side of the map that shorten respawn times for your team. If you manage to gain a favorable position, try placing one beacon closer to the enemy's spawn, or their respawn path to hold your lead. Last up, how do you deal with an opposing team that is using Squid Beacons? A team utilizing beacons efficiently can be daunting. Getting splats may only seem to buy you a few free seconds. This kind of pressure will be hard to deal with when you ignore enemy beacons. Here's a crash course on defusing the situation. First off, Check which of the opponents could have access to beacons at the start of the match. If there is potential for beacons, check your map often for them. If you can't take the detour to destroy their beacons, beware of the location that the enemy team will most likely be coming from. If the enemy team is set up on a ledge and advancing from there, cover that ledge or drop off point and nullify their advantage. The other danger is revenge killing with beacons. Be wary if you get a splat near a beacon, since there very well may be a squid flying right back at you. Try stuffing the beacon before getting the splat, or keep an eye peeled if it takes a few seconds to dispatch it after the splat. Camping the beacon isn't the best idea, due to the stealth jump properties. That about covers it. Squid Beacons are a strong tool which will only get better with time. Map control is a major theme of Splatoon, and having good positioning is an essential component of taking and maintaining that control. You should now know just what exactly beacons do, their strengths and limitations, and where to place them and how to destroy them. Never again shall you ignore those colorful blips on your map that your teammate is working so hard to position favorably. Gone are the days where you will jump without stealth and die immediately. We will all die a little inside when we see a beacon on spawn, and we will pop off appropriately when you jump to a beacon and take back the game. That's all for now. Catch you later.